we are aware that there are some Mauricians that are stranded on Réunion Island. Stranded in the sense that they reside on the island of Mauritius and that they went there for a specific purpose and they now want to return. Now, we are following the advice of the Ministry of Health as to what we should do and what we can do to win the battle against the COVID. And this is a very difficult moment. We have just come out of a second wave of COVID, and we are trying to ensure that the situation is in control because we have an imperative of gradually lifting restrictions and moving on to a new strategy of learning to live with COVID and applying red zones as and when necessary on the basis of the tracing, testing and isolating strategy that has worked and that has made of Mauritius an exception in the whole African and Indian Ocean region, as testified to by statistics of the World Health Organization. Now, the Ministry of Foreign Affairs keeps a constant watch over all stranded Mauritians across the world. The message is clear. Any Mauritian who considers himself stranded can contact one of our embassies or consulates abroad, or can register online with on the dedicated page of the Ministry of Foreign Affairs website, and can call a dedicated telephone number. The message is very clear. Since the second wave struck, since confinement in March, there have been no commercial flights, but only repatriation flights organized by the Ministry of Foreign Affairs on the basis of the list of persons registering themselves as stranded. On that basis, there have been several repatriation flights from Paris. Only yesterday, a flight arrived from London and Paris. We have had repatriation flights from Dubai, and once in a while, when we have cargo flights coming back from Mumbai, they have been allowed to bring back some stranded Mauritians, and especially medical cases. As we know, the state sponsors sick Mauritians who go to India for treatment. However, we have been warned by the World Health Organization that there are a few dangerous variants. One of which is the South African COVID variant, and the other is the Brazilian variant. So there is a special, it is called a NOTAM, a Notice to Airmen, which is a regulation, if you so wish, of civil aviation, that says that for 4 countries or regions, namely Brazil, South Africa, Mayotte and Réunion, because in Mayotte and Réunion, the majority of COVID cases are from the South African variant. So for these 4 countries or regions, the persons who are there and who want to travel to Mauritius have to quarantine for 2 weeks in another territory, in another country, before coming to Mauritius. That is the situation. Now, as regards Réunion, on a case-by-case basis, we are allowing for medical repatriation. So anybody who has been to Réunion for medical treatment can apply to the Ministry of Foreign Affairs with all his documents, which will be vetted by the Ministry of Health. And if the Ministry of Health certifies that this is a case of medical repatriation, those persons will exceptionally be allowed under a special derogation from the NOTAM to come back to Mauritius with all the precautions taken. Now for the others, and it's not just Réunion, we are painfully aware, the Minister of Foreign Affairs, the Prime Minister, and everybody in government, we are painfully aware of the dire straits in which Mauritians do find themselves, especially in South Africa, in Madagascar, as well as Réunion, because we do not have flights from those countries allowing Mauritians to come back. We are working very hard within the Republic of Mauritius to get the COVID situation under control, and as soon, I repeat, as soon as we can, bring back those Mauritians to Mauritius without endangering our own population here, we will do so. That is the commitment of government, Mr. Deputy Speaker.